With the consent agenda, all the following items which concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved at AHA meetings will be approved by one vote unless any trustee desires to have a separate vote on any or all these items. The consent agenda consists of the discussion, consideration, and action on the following items. Minutes of the monthly finance meeting on July 16, 2019. Minutes of the monthly trustee meeting on July 16, 2019. And a check report July 10th, 2019 through August 9th, 2019.
I will move the approval of the consent agenda as proposed. Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Brown, a second by Dr. Hannaford to approve the consent agenda as it was presented. Roll call vote, please.
Gasper,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
yes.
All right. Next is the CEO's report. Candace.
All right. Kevin will go over the EHR kind of status here just a little bit, so I'm going to skip over that. We continue to monitor quality and those items that were brought to our attention through our DMV survey. We will be sending a final report in the next few weeks regarding the DMV surveys, and seem to be coming along with those items pretty well. Satisfaction surveys were completed, and you'll see some reports in the middle of the table there if you want to review those. Most importantly, the nursing staff, we have 12 licensed staff complete the trauma nurse core course recently. That was funded through the foundation to provide that training. And we have successfully recruited all open nursing positions and will soon no longer have agency in the building when those last couple of contracts run out. So we're terribly excited about that, to have our own core staff hired, and they've been a pleasure. The ones that we've hired so far have been a pleasure to work with. So we're happy about that. Upfront collections for July was just over $40,000. It's been slow. It's been terribly slow, outpatient as well as inpatient, and you can see that reflected all over the place in the report. Regarding the downtown clinic, some of you may be aware that we've made the decision. Come October 2nd, we're going to start moving the downtown clinic to the West End Clinic up here. And that's to take advantage of some efficiencies of staffing, supplies, vaccines, those kind of things. We have room for them in the West End Clinic. And when we started looking at certifying for a rural health clinic and started working on those, it just became more clear that that was the wise thing to do. So beginning October 2nd, which is a Wednesday, I believe, we've got some practitioners that are going to conference, so we're going to use that time to move that clinic up here. So we'll be giving the city notice that we're going to let that clinic. Any questions about that?
I move that we approve the CEO's report as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Brown and a second by Dr. Simon.
That felt nice.
So really sure medical center report. Roll call vote, please.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bob, yes. Gasper.
Yes. In fact, I'm kind of feeling like I'm under-doctored in here. Thank you, Candace, for your report. Next is CFO's report. Kevin?
For the month of July, patient revenue was down. The revenue totaled $1,650,812, which is an $80,383 decrease compared to prior month. The changes were as follows. Patient days for July were 112 compared to 155 in June. But we did see a small increase in our clinic visits from 1,058 in June to 1,111 in July. Charity care, hospital contractual less bad debts and charity care were 55.4% of gross patient revenue. We wrote off $125,920 to the collection agency. We gave $13,895 away in charity care. Our net operating loss for July was $264,171. After we add back sales tax and everything else, we ended up losing $191,173. Our cash at the end of July was $119,038, which represents 4.5 days worth of operating expenses. And our accounts receivable actually went down $374,716 to $3,322,028, which represents 59.2 days compared to 63.1 the prior month. Accounts payable balance was $1,234,858. That represents 108 days worth of operating expenses. If you flip over to page 2, you can kind of see where we were as far as both on the revenue side, both the inpatient and the outpatient were down. The only really expense items that was a little bit different from the 2 months was in the salaries. We have some extra expenses with the recruitment of nurses and stuff in there, so we've seen that kind of increase there as that goes up. Really, the problem for July was just a lack of volume. I mean, that's what it ended up being. When we get back to the graph, you'll really notice that even more. You can see that last year at this time we lost $178,000 as well compared to $191. So July is historically a slower month as far as that goes. Page 5, of course, talks about the cash we have on hand. $119,038. Cash is very tight, and we have to continue to watch the cash. Month of August, just so you guys know, will be probably even tighter. Dr. Self's off for a couple of weeks, and probably patient revenue is going to be less than what we had in July. So cash will continue to be an issue for us as we move forward, at least for the next month or two until we get to the busier season moving ahead. Page 6 and 7 is your accounts receivable. 8 and 9 is your balance sheet. And your next 4 pages is all your statistical graphs. And if you look at the statistical graphs, you can look at the year-to-date numbers as well as the last 5-year numbers. And you can see that almost every area had a decrease in volume. And it's just we were not busy. I mean, some of us are slow anyway, so. Is there any questions on the finances?
No, but I might reiterate a couple of things that he said as we discuss these in finance. One of the things is on this critical access and the reimbursement rates, we're in that in-between stage. And that's why we've had to do these interim cost reports, and they told us again that we could go ahead and file another one.
Correct.
But, we don't get caught up ever on that until they get us back up to what that full reimbursement will be. And what percentage are we at the moment, do you think? 60-something, 70%?
Of what?
Right now.
Reimbursement rate.
Oh, we're probably
About
about,
95?
yeah. Well, they're paying us 95, but I think it's going to go higher because when the volumes drop, our rate should go up. But it's hard to tell until we file another interim cost report. But right now, yeah, they owe us, well, I estimate close to about $300,000 from last year. But it could be even higher because what happens is they participate based on our cost and our Medicare mix. So if the volumes, we've been going along all of a sudden, then the volume drops. So our cost for that same volume has to go up because it's got to pay our fixed costs, so we'll get paid more. So, but we've always been behind. So we've been fronting some of that for right now until we get completely caught up and get the volume steady moving forward. So.
And we kind of played with the numbers and
Yeah.
looked at those in the forecasting. And if we had that 300,000 and we were getting
Right.
our actual rate,
Right.
it's not as concerning. But
Right.
just understand that can still take months, if not, I don't like using the word years, but I mean,
Yeah,
it
it
could
takes a while.
possibly be to get that before it is
Well,
where we
eventually,
need to be.
it's just right now, us having to front the cash for it, it's really hard because that's the worst time that you can front the cash is when you need it the most. So,
questions in regards to that or anything else on finances?
Have we looked at how many patients might be in that, how many of our self-pay patients might be in the gap for Medicaid expansion? Because that'll affect us too, in a positive way.
Right, it would affect us in a positive way, but no, I don't know as far as how many would actually probably qualify for that.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, Kevin, thank you for that report. The next item is the approval or disapproval of a digitizing panel replacement.
Right, so in our radiology department, we have a panel that goes whenever it takes x-rays, and whenever it shoots the x-ray thing at them, it actually digitizes the film for them, and so it goes into the processor for that to come out. The issue is that our digitizer, the panel plate has worn out pretty much, and so we need to get another one. We have the opportunity to get a nice refurbished one, and I know Allison worked hard about getting a good quote and make sure that it's something that will work with the machine we have. It's $40,000. If you guys approve it, the way I would finance it is pending you guys' approval. The foundation said that they would pay for it. So it's something we need to do, because if it completely goes out, we'll be able to do films of patients, and they'll be able to be digitized. So.
If you go back under other,
Oh, I'm sorry. It's in the other
materials.
section.
the first thing that you come to is that Brown's Medical Imaging.
Yeah.
And it talks about what he is talking about.
What's a regular, if you didn't have one that refurbished, what's a?
I think it was about $53,000 otherwise. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a
We're
difference
saving
in the
about
life of it
$12,000.
versus?
No, it's still warranty. Yeah, it's just because when you refurbish, you have to bring it up to its useful life, so it should last
Okay.
the same amount. So.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the digitizing panel replacement.
Second on
I have a motion by Dr. Hannaford, a second by Dr. Brown, to approve the digitizing panel replacement. Is there any other discussion on that? If not, roll call vote, please.
Simon?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes. Yes.
Casper?
Yes.
Hannaford?
Yes.
Okay. Right behind that, you will see a bid for roof repair from Alva Roofing Company, and that is our next item, which is an approval or disapproval to accept the lowest or best bid for the roofing repair project. Kevin, if you want to.
Sure. We submitted bid proposals out to several different roofing companies and told them the specs that they had to meet to make sure that the remaining part of our roof stayed underneath warranty. And just to remind you guys that this roof damage happened earlier in the spring due to wind and stuff. And so we had someone with the actual, that had guarantee on the roof come out and look to see what would cost, or not what would cost, but what had to be done by the repairers to make sure that we could keep the rest of the roof underneath warranty. And that, so we submitted those bids out to people that wanted to bid on it. We only had one bidder that actually submitted a bid, and it's actually Alva Roofing Company. And the bid came in at $54,999. The only note that should be noted is that if for some reason they only think that it's going to require 3,000 square feet extra of this insulation, but they won't know until they get in underneath there, but they put a guarantee that it would not exceed another 2,000 square feet. So the bid's $54,999. If it gets over 3,000 square feet for the insulation 2-inch, it's $3.50 a square foot. So it could be an extra $7,000 at worst case scenario. So I don't know how to word that.
And these companies that took the bid packages, they had to be approved.
They had to be approved by the
Mansfield.
Mansfield. They had to be licensed by the state of Oklahoma, have a commercial endorsement, and all that. So, and they know they have to meet all the specs for that. So,
That way that our warranty would continue on for the rest of that.
right for the rest of the roof, right?
Did I remember, were we hoping that the roof was like 25,000, 30,000? Was early on estimates?
It was early on. It got higher than that when they got all the photos and stuff in to get it sent out and stuff. And then so when we sent out for bids, this is what it came back as.
We were actually thinking it might be closer to 80 to 100,000.
Yeah.
After they went through and walked through everything.
Right.
So when this came in, this was actually
Better than what you thought.
better than what we thought. So, any other questions about the roof?
So if we approve the contract for the roof repair.
Second.
Can we just include that Alva roofing company got the high bid, or best, not high bid, low bid? Or the hook.
They were both, they were the only.
High, low, there is the-
I move to approve the bid from Alva Roofing Company for the roofing repair.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Brown, a second by Dr. Simon to approve the bid from Alva Roofing Company for the roofing repair project. Do I need to put the amount?
I think it'd be handy.
Okay, $54,999. Not to exceed another $7,000 for additional insulation.
What I really think you ought to do on there is just approve the bid, because that's the bid. It's 54.
Just approve the bid.
And then if there's an exception to that bid, there can be an adjustment later that the board could just vote on.
Okay. So for just the $54,999. $54,999. How about that? Okay, roll call vote then.
Brown,
Yes.
Bog,
Yes.
Casper,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Simon.
Yes.
Okay. Nothing else in finance, Kevin, thank you. Medical staff committee did not meet. There's no report there. There are no items of QAPI this month. So we move to number 7, improvement to patient care. There is a contract review right after financials. Everything was compliant. Is there anything else that needs to be added to that? No? Okay, does anybody have any questions about that? If not, we'll move on to the convalescent home report. Kelly?
I'll start with the finances. Cash balance for July was $198,741. It's 20 days, 20.1 days of operating expenses excluding depreciation. Accounts receivable balance of $402,599. It's a decrease of $109,995 during July. Our gross days in July were 40.4 compared to 52 in June. Accounts payable balance was $185,348, which is 37.3 days of operating expenses, excluding salaries, benefits, and depreciation. Gross patient revenue was $316,989, which is a $20,538 increase compared to June. Total patient days were 1,707 compared to 1,576 in June. Contractuals, less bad debts, charity were 5.1% of gross patient revenue. Operating expenses, excluding salaries, benefits, and depreciation, are $134,037, which is an increase of $8,470 compared to June. Salaries and wages totaled $170,000, which was an increase of $4,323 compared to June. And our net loss was $26,439. We have been working pretty hard to well, I'll go ahead and go to page 4 and do the income statement. Like I said, well, I pretty much went over that. It's normal. Biggest change was our salaries went up, and as well as We still saw some increase in other expenses, which is our agency cost, but that came from a May invoice that did not make it to us until July. So we're actually doing a pretty good job of reducing our agency dependency. We're not where I want us to be yet, but our reduction in agency is a greater savings than our increase in overtime. So that's going in the right direction, but we are also starting to see, when we kind of made our transition, we saw quite a bit of coming together and teamwork and everybody, excited about, some change, and we're starting to see some staff leave because maybe they're not as excited about that change anymore. We're still going to be needing some agency staffing for our 8 shifts, but all in all, I think things are going okay. We have state surveyors on site this week. They'll probably be here through Thursday this week, and then chances are they'll be back first part of next week. There's possibilities they finish up by Thursday, but from what they tell me, it's not likely. So their first 2 days have gone pretty well. We haven't had many things pointed out to us that are concerning. We've had to find some things that they needed to look at and that kind of thing, but really I think it's going all right. The staff are really working hard to make sure that surveyors have the things that they need in order to do what they need to do. So that's going well. I started Administrator University on the 8th, and looking forward to that being over with.
Just to be honest.
But it's pretty intense. They expect a lot out of long-term care administrators in the licensing program, and so the coursework and the internship hours are consistent with that. So this week we'll be going to Tulsa, and we'll be having our daily class at one of the facilities in the Tulsa area. So most of the time we're going to be in Oklahoma City at the Osboletica, which is ridiculous, but it's the long-term care board. Anyway, to come up with an acronym, I think they could have done better, but they didn't. I'm on course to take a test in December, and then probably take another test in February or March to be licensed. So, activities, we've been trying to have more activities, and in July we did have a cookout for the residents, complete with a slip and slide and everything, and we probably had half of our residents out there, and probably 10 or 15 of them actually, we got a pull behind tube, like you pull behind your ski boat with the big sides and back on it, and they loved it. Oh, it was great, and a lot of fun. I got sunburned grilling burgers for them, so it was good. But that was a really good thing for resident and employee morale, and we'll look forward to doing more of that kind of stuff. We have been given information for the Finance Committee for some things that we need over there, and we'll see what comes out of this survey process if there's other things that we need to take care of. But I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any. All right. That concludes my report.
Any questions for Kelly? If not, Kelly, thank you. Next, the homestead report. Christie.
Yes, and if you look at the financial statements, you'll see my revenue is down by about $10,000. I attribute that to Kelly's being up $20,000. I think I'm that's because I have lost 4 of my people to Kelly, but I'm supporting his business by we are a team. It's not your team.
Yeah.
No, it has been really good to honestly to be able to work with Kelly on a lot of those that I start feeling like need more care than we can give where they are, I can call Kelly. They already know Kelly, the families already know Kelly, and feel confident about going over there. So that has been really nice. Because when you have to tell them that, hey, mom can't do this by herself, immediately they're like, what are we going to do? Where are they going to go? And when I tell them they'll go somewhere they know someone, it helps immensely. So I want to make that statement that has been really good. While we're down 10,000 in revenue, we also were down about 10,000 on expenses, so we still came out the same at the bottom line. So we're still keeping up with last year at the same time. So that's good. I'm hopeful with that, and I'm kind of a money miser, so that part should stay pretty good. I just need to drum up some more business. So if you all know people that, really would like a great place to live, and it doesn't matter what age they are, just remember that, because there's lots of younger people that like the homestead too. So I want to remind you that. As far as my report, that one thing I noticed, actually I had Kelly come over and kind of talk me through it again, because it's been a couple months now, so now I'm getting my brain wrapped around it. But one of the things I noticed, I did let you know that we had a decrease of 4.5% from June of 2018, which is true, but I really should have been comparing it to July, so that last year this same time, if I compare apples to apples, it was 2.5% decrease. So I just want to point that out, and I'll have that month by month correct from now on. The other things have been going really good. Again, the expenses, people are really watching what we're doing with expenses, and I have on here that I hadn't lost any staff. Gosh, we haven't lost any staff for quite a while, but I have now lost a housekeeper, but she had already gone down to part-time, and we figured out how to make it work with just part-time, and now we're going to try to keep on going without that position and try to save funds by doing that. So, and I think we'll be fine. We'll all share the loads. That's really all I have. Do you all have questions with anything that was on there? I am loving the position. I love the residents there. It's been fun to do everything with them. Today I got to do Carla's shop and transport. They were surprised that I would do that, but it was fun. I know you've done it. They did remind me that I need to be a good driver, and I asked him if Kelly had him scared, but I don't think he did.
Probably terrified.
But anyway, so.
All right, any questions for Christie? All right, thank you, Christie. Next is foundation report. Kelly?
Foundation met earlier this month. We normally would have met in July. Scheduling conflicts prevented that. I'll hit a couple highlights. We did approve at that meeting the $40,000 for the radiology equipment, so we'll get some signatures after this, and we'll get a check to you so you can get that. We talked a little bit about our employee payroll deduction program, and how our employees had the opportunity to make small donations out of their paychecks, and they help fund a lot of the things that we do over time with the foundation they have. And it's about $700 or $800 a month is what our employees are contributing back to the foundation. I would encourage any board members that want to participate to catch up with me, and we can make that happen. And we're going to try to do some things to be in front of the employees a little bit more often with the opportunities to support the foundation. We also we heard reports from Candace and Regina, as well as Allison, regarding some of the needs in radiology. But beyond that, we discussed reappointments to the board, and so when we meet in October, we'll probably be reappointing Steve Knox and Sue Reed. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Kelly? Not? Kelly, thank you. St. Anthony's, they were here earlier today during our finance time, and they didn't share anything at that time. Did they share anything additional with you? But they were here today during that time. Next is the city council report.
Had a lengthy meeting, had a lot of good comments from community members in our public comments. Some highlights, we did reject the ONG franchise resolution that would have went to the vote of the people. So we'll try to hopefully bring ONG in back for some discussions on that. Not that it matters now, but we did approve to replace the roof of the professional building. We also only had one bid for that project. And a lot of the roof had to be done before some of the remediation with some of the mold issues inside. That was recommended by that company. Had some reappointments to some boards, actually a couple of them, and then that was really went into executive discussions for some, again, local contract negotiations with our fire department. But happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Bo? Notice continuing to do street repair. In fact, they made the street right in front of my office really nice.
Yep.
Just finished up today. So
One of our largest purchases, we spent almost, I think, $160,000 on asphalt and have made good progress, and hopefully if the weather continues, we'll still continue to knock out some more streets.
well, it's an improvement, and I say thank you to you folks for
Appreciate
doing that, and that it is acknowledged that you guys are working on it. All right, I have nothing to report, and there were no other items of new business, so we are adjourned.